So hello students, how are you? Today we start our new unit of Indian economic development, that is development policies and experience 1947 to 90. In this unit we study our first chapter, Indian economy on the eve of independence, in which we study about the demographic and geographical conditions. Also, we study the agricultural sector, economical sector, infrastructure, and other things in this chapter. So,
So
students,
let's
we
start.
all know that the structure of India's present economy has its roots deep in the history, particularly in the period when India was under British rule. Britishers ruled India for almost 200 years, till 15th August 1947. Their sole purpose was to exploit the natural resources of India for their own benefit and to reduce the country to being a raw material supplier for Great Britain's own rapidly expanding modern industrial base. These are the intro of this chapter. Now the content and topics are as follows. We will study low level of economic development under the colonial rule, agricultural sector, industrial sector, foreign trade, demographic condition, occupational structure, and infrastructure, part by part. Now, next is Indian economy prior to British rule. First of all, we have to know our economy was a developed and flourishing economy. Many travelers have described India as a rich country. French traveler Bernier, who visited India during the 17th century, described it as richer than Egypt. Guys, our country was richer than Egypt at a time, and agriculture was well developed, and villages were self sufficient. Indian handicrafts were acclaimed all around the world, though our handicrafts are famous all over the world. Handmade textiles such as Dakkai muslin of Bengal was famous worldwide. Foreign travelers used to refer it as Malmal Sahi. Next, economic growth under the British rule. In this topic, we discussed about the growth of India under the British colonial period. There was no official estimate on national income and per capita income of India under the colonial rule because of lack of initiative shown by the British government. So the level of economic growth cannot be predicted with accuracy. However, some individuals such as Dadabhai Naoroji, William Digby, V.K.R.V. Rao made some attempts to study the level of growth during the colonial period. But most of the studies did find that there was low level of economic growth during colonial period. So in this PPT, you see that economy of a country includes all production, distribution or economic activities that relate with people and determines the standard of living. For standard of living, it is very necessary for a economy to involve all the economic activities. You also know that the three activities, three economic activities, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. These all combine to make our economy successful. On the eve of independence, Indian economy was in very bad shape due to the presence of British colonial rule. The sole purpose of the British colonial rule in India was to reduce the country to being a feeder economy for Great Britain's own rapidly expanding modern industrial base. Britain or British government wants to establish their industrial base from our raw materials, and they make India, they suppose India as a feeder economy which fulfill their needs for their own motive. Thus, in 1947, the British left India as a disabled economy. Disabled means a very low economic growth. Our country has a very low economic growth, so it is called disabled economy. Next is colonialism. What is colonialism? It refers to a system of political and social relation between two countries of which one is the ruler and the other is its colony. The ruling country not only has political control over the colony, but it also determines the economic policies of the dominated country, which means the power, the control of a colony in the hands of Britishers who are far away from India, sitting on another place and controlling the colony, controlling the country of India. In case of India, the unequal relationship between the colony, which means India, and the ruling country, means Britain, resulted in underdevelopment of India. The underdevelopment result of underdevelopment means the relationship between Britain and India is not equal. India is a low economic country and Britain is a far developed country. So there is a big gap between these countries and India was a underdeveloped country. So that's all for today. Next in next class we will discuss next topics. Thank you, students.